Microsoft have given us everything that you need to know around your Copilot changes for the next coming month of September 2024. But before we go and have a look, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get started. As is now customary with Microsoft, we've got two sets of announcements around what is coming, what is new, what new features they are. Here is that blog post that we normally get at the end of the month. And this is the one that's dated for the 30th of August 2024. So as you can see, we've got plenty of information in here that's going to be going out around Copilot and its changes. So let's take a look. The first one is around a new risk assessment guide that you can go and download now. It's about a 37-page PDF file. I found it really informative when I went through this PDF file. You have to log in with your Microsoft 365 credentials and have a certain license, which probably most of you users have. You have to have some kind of Microsoft 365 or Office 365 license. But you can go in there, you can find more information around how Microsoft are dealing with AI, how it uses its partners, how it's using OpenAI, how it handles personal data. All that information is put into this risk assessment so you can improve your business case to be able to say, you know what? To the C-level suite, I need some more funding. I want to be able to implement more AI. This is how it's going to be able to help the business. But here is some of the risk mitigation that I've done as part of this process. And as I said, it's really comprehensive, asking you a whole bunch of questions and giving you some examples and also some of what those answers are from Microsoft as well. The next up is some additional languages that have been added here from a Copilot point of view. So as you can see here, we've now got 12 additional languages, including Bulgarian, Croatian, Estonian, Greek, Indonesian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Romanian, Serbian, Latin, Slovakian, Slovenian, and Vietnamese. So these have now been added to your Microsoft 365 Copilot, so you can go off and natively talk to Copilot in those languages. My granddad would be very happy. He was a Welshman. And we have also now got supported languages for Welsh and for Catalan. So go off, again, you can go and speak to it inside of Welsh and it can translate things into English. You can summarize Welsh documents, ask it to give you a repeat back into your national language, or just actually go off, speak to the whole platform in Welsh and get the information back for you in Welsh as well. There are also improvements from other languages. One of the things that I find being here in the UK, you ask it to write you some kind of content or some kind of information, then we're actually going to struggle when it starts outputting with certain characters missing because it's outputting it in the English US version. Things like flavor missing a U inside of it, or lots of words that have Z's instead of S's in it. So it's nice to see that there are improvements coming in the output to support additional languages such as French Canadian, English UK, Spanish Mexican, in that kind of thing. So again, more improvements to the platform. Viva Glint has got more integration to be able to support you with your end users and your adoption. If you're not used to Viva Glint, it's a great way of being able to get an understanding of how your staff are feeling and being able to go off and doing surveys with them. Well, wouldn't it be great to be able to ask them how IT services are doing, or the learning and development team, or finance, or whatever department it is across your organization. But what we can now do is we can go off and we can ask it some specific questions around Copilot. This is Microsoft's screenshot from this blog post. As you can see here, we can see things like quality and effort. And we've got some measurements of success. What is it that we want to be able to get to? These are the business outputs that we want to be able to get to from a certain KPI to demonstrate that Copilot is transforming our organization into an AI organization. We've also got some announcements that come October of 2024 that the general availability of Copilot for Microsoft 365 is going to come to US government organizations. So that's some big improvements over there and helping from that point of view, but also the improvements from a search point of view. So as you will see here in Outlook, we can actually now improve, and Microsoft talk about here is the graph and the groundings. This is where all the data and people are connected together. And we have this ability now to be able to, you know what, go off and look inside our archive mailbox. So Microsoft have brought the archive mailbox features into as part of the graph, and that searchability be able to move forwards. As well as going off and using subfolders and just being able to query Copilot inside of a subfolder. Maybe you've got roles that automatically move emails from certain people and you just want to be able to go off and query inside of that subfolder. You'll be able to do that over the next coming weeks as updates coming inside of September. In Teams, also improvements around grounding and the conversation inside of the area, and being able to ask more questions inside of Teams. And I'm going to come back to that one in a minute because there's a bit of a further update of what you can do inside of chat inside of your Teams. But as you can also see here is that with the grounding and the chat, they're making some significant improvements in the ability to be able to add more text into this ability to be able to go off and ask it questions, feed it more information. I want to feed it more than just 2,000 characters. I'm now going to be able to do 16,000 characters and help you to be able to find files in your OneDrive better, or may well be other things. As I said, I was going to come back to Teams. A bit further down the blog post, it's just separated out. I thought I'll keep it in here from a context point of view, but you can summarize things better now inside of that group chats with time. Can you tell me the outputs of what we talked about last month in this chat? Or back in December, we talked about this. Can you give me a summary around that kind of thing? So whether that is yesterday, last month, 6 months ago, or a particular month and year, you can go off and you can add that as part of your prompts and the things that you build out within your Teams group chats. Pasting, a bit of AI is coming to copy and paste. The ability to be able to go off and do more formatting and having AI do that for you. I'm a big fan of Claude as an AI tool, and you can have it create you tables. If you copy and paste it into Word, Claude hasn't given it into me a proper table format, but what will be great, as you can see here, is that when I right click and I get that kind of paste options, I can actually go off and I can use a bit of AI to be able to go off and actually transform the table in the way that I want it to be. If I'm still not happy with it, I can use my natural language to be able to go off and make further changes to these things. Copilot has been informed for a while. You can ask it to help you to create a form and that kind of thing. But we've got an other element to forms, which is quizzes. So as it says here, you're going to be able to do more quizzes and now to have your AI be able to support you with this. So I'm going to read this one out a little bit for you. With Copilot Informs Quizzes, teachers can easily generate step-by-step solutions to each question. When students turn in questions, if the teacher gives students the option to immediately view their answers, students can check their scores to see if what they have mastered, and further study the step-by-step solutions supported by Copilot, helping them learn more from their mistakes. So great to be able to get that initial feedback and having AI support both the teacher, but also the student to help them achieve the outcome that they're trying to achieve in the classroom. I'm a big fan of Copilot Lab. This ability to have a web page that you tell your users to go to first to start to understand the kind of prompts. Many users will not understand prompts and what they can do, and you can ask them to go to Copilot Lab, look at the different prompts, what you can do within Teams, Word, and all that kind of thing. And in the last couple of months, we've actually seen some features added inside of the Copilot Lab website, which enables you to filter it by industry. And as you can see here, Microsoft is saying new prompts are going to be coming for sales, finance, and the energy sector. And the screenshot that they provide, as you can see here, includes actually financial services, retail, manufacturing, students, and faculty if you're in the education space. But obviously, there are now more that are going to be added into here as well. So if you're not using Copilot Lab as your adoption tool, I would highly recommend that you get onto that almost immediately. Tell people to go to the URL for Copilot Lab. I'll stick that in my description, but I'm a big fan of it. That's why I've got it in my cheese wheel to be able to say, this is your first step. Get into Copilot Lab, learn those simple prompts, and then be able to take things further from that point of view. Jumping into the email that we get from Microsoft, we have plenty of information that comes in here that is sent to users that have the Copilot license. So your users have already got this. I got mine in my multiple mailboxes on the 28th of August, so a few kind of days before the end of the month. In here, we've got some prompts, so great things that we can go off and do. Track that what's important. Give me a bullet list of the key points from a particular file. Don't forget, you can always do formatting inside of your prompts. I want it in a table. I want it inside of bullet points, or whatever it may want to stack them in a priority of 1 to 5. These are things that you can do as part of your advanced prompting and as you build that maturity of prompting inside your organization. So as a kind of example one there, the other one here is providing a comprehensive summary of my emails about the, and you can do a / from a particular file. So the FY24 sales report as it does here. Don't forget this / is really powerful. So whether you're inside a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and we're going to go into Word in a second, I'm going to show you that, we can reference content that is across the Microsoft Graph, your files that you have access to. So that's something to remember and something you can go off and do. The other element here obviously is improvements that they've made to the Microsoft Copilot platform. So as you can see here, create a presentation with a prompt. You don't need a file to be able to go off and create a presentation. You can say, based on the AI's knowledge, can you go off and create me a presentation based on Romans or whatever it is? That's normally what I do from a demo point of view. Or go off and chat with a file in Word and understand those kind of side of things a bit further. But one of the key updates to both this as well is ability for you to be able to go off and actually bring in Bing information. What's held inside that Bing index to make that Bing search results, actually that content can now be brought into your both Word and PowerPoint. So if I go into PowerPoint here, into Word, sorry, here, what you will see is I've got a blank file. And if I just say, ask me something about this document, or I wanted to create some information about this document, if I go into my manage search and plugins, one of these by default is now web content. So if I did this in PowerPoint and ask it to create me a slide based on the Roman history, the AI model has some information. It has some general knowledge that it can do. Or you can tick this box that goes off and uses the Bing search index to go off and pull even more content from there. Remember how some models are actually trained up onto a certain date? Where you go and ask it what's in the news today, it doesn't come back with anything that's in there because it doesn't understand the news for that day. Wherefore, if you say, could you create me a slide based on the news today, it's going to bring back that information. If you go and ask an AI engine where it can't look at the latest news, who was the last person that won the Football Premier League or the NFL, it's going to look back at older information. When you start ticking this box here that brings in that web content, it's going to bring back the latest teams, the latest news, the latest context to help you to build those slides out. And finally, what we have here is just some improvements. As you can see here, reference a Word document to create a marketing presentation without needing to copy the link to a document. I mentioned it already, using this / is a really key thing to be able to go off and actually bring up this little card that comes up that tells you all your recent files. If you start typing the name, you can find that Word document, that PDF file, that presentation, whatever it may well be. Or even your transcript from a previous meeting if you do it inside a Copilot that you see inside of Teams. So you can bring back all this information that is held and married together with the Microsoft Graph. And as you can see, there is a final thing here as part of the reasoning over business data in Excel. Some more improvements coming to Microsoft Excel in the near future. So those are the things that are coming to our Copilot for Microsoft 365 during the month of September 2024, as well as a few look backs of what has been added to the platform by Microsoft already. If you think these things are going to be useful for you, why not leave a comment below? Let me know what you're excited about. Is there a particular feature that you are hoping to see by Microsoft that will be added to the Copilot for Microsoft 365 announcements? There's also a big event happening on the 16th of September. Microsoft have announced this as the Microsoft 365 Copilot Wave 2. And it will be interesting to see what has to be said by Microsoft. What are they adding? What's new? What are the exciting things that you're going to be able to get more out with Copilot for Microsoft 365? And of course, we'll do a summary video around that. So that's another reason to get subscribed to the value add. But until then, I'll see you again soon.